when you look at Reset Era, whether you like it or not, they are the voice of the entertainment industry in the West. And I'm talking about specifically video games and to a certain degree anime as well. Now, I'm not talking about the actual people, the useful idiots, but the admins and the people that are on the top. They are developers from AAA company, opinion influencers, and journalists to some extent. And they have managed to completely block out the consumer. They created their little safe space so that when the foreigner, the Asian man comes, is going to see a forum where only a certain ideology is being presented, and they will think that is the norm. So I have been saying this on this channel since I started, and I'm really upset that, I have a small voice and other people don't really want to listen to what I'm saying. That whenever you see a company, like for example Resident Evil 3, right? They decide to go for the realistic approach and tone down Jill's sexuality. That in itself is not a problem. It's not going to make the game worse because it decided to tone down its sexuality, right? It's going to have a couple of people that are complaining because these types of games are all about sex and violence. And if you tone either the violence or the sex, people are going to complain. That's understandable. But that's not the issue. The issue is that it symbolizes the fact that the company is now being run by certain bigots. And this is how they dog whistle. This is how they spew their ideology in the company. And you're going to see more and more talented people getting laid off from these companies and replaced with other bigots. And eventually what happens is you're going to see these companies push out very bad games like Mass Defect Andromeda. They're going to start banning people on the forums. They're going to start giving sass on the Twitter to their consumer. And it ends up with the company going bankrupt. And I don't want to see companies going bankrupt. And one of the safe havens, if you will, one of the places that were providing entertainment that was safe from this California nonsense was anime. And I've been saying this since I started my channel, that anime is in danger. You are going to see in the next coming years anime being infested by these people. And I explain how it's going to happen. The Japanese animators, they're going to want to expand the market. It's very similar to how Hollywood wants to expand in China. But if they want to expand to the West, they're going to have to go through the censors. Just like Hollywood wants to expand to China, they have to go through the censors. Like, this is why Hollywood, despite being incredibly progressive, they don't have any LGBT representations in big blockbuster movies. Whereas, if you look at the TV shows in the United States, almost all of them have LGBT representation. Like, you can't name a single TV show from 2005 onwards that doesn't have at least one gay couple in it. And the reason this doesn't happen with Hollywood is because the Chinese censors do not allow it. And it's going to be exactly the same for Japanese animators. Like, if you want to sell your anime in the West, you have to go past the censors. And now the censors are going to be the people at Funimation. Now, it's not at the censorship point yet. And they do not have the same influence like the Chinese people do. But give it time. Give it a little time. They're already mistranslating animes. I mean, there are so many examples. But I remember watching an anime. And the girl there was saying that the outfit that she was asked to wear is too conservative. And the translation was that the outfit that she is asked to wear is too misogynistic. Like, you get to see these changes. You get to see transgender jokes being edited out. You get to see a lot of sex jokes being cut. You get to see people freaking out over My Hero Academia because you have like this character that barely appears on the screen having a little bit of cleavage. And they complain, oh my god, that is sexism. Meanwhile, the main character of the show, which is an underage boy, appears without a shirt and is like bulging with muscles. And no one complains. Because this is a double standard and it's meant in order to pressure the Japanese animator to work with Western companies like Funimation in order to make the content acceptable for the West. And I don't know what can be done against it. Like, it's just going to happen. Look here. Western companies being on committees is fine so long as they have no ability to make decisions concerning the content of a show. That's literally why they're on the committee, to make the decisions concerning the content of a show. Like they're going to look at something. And for example, there was this this Japanese game coming out on the Western markets, and they completely removed two gay guys that were bullying the main character. I think the name was Persona, right? Like the game was Persona 5. And they didn't like the fact that the gay characters were portrayed as human beings, and humans can have negative traits. There is another example. Like this is the best one yet. If you look at Nintendo, Animal Crossing, when you choose the gender, whether you want to be a boy or a girl, in every language except English, you have like boy and girl. In English, you don't. Like they removed that. And this type of changes aren't for the betterment of the product. They're not in order to make money, to provide more entertainment. No, they're just there in order to push an ideology, whether you like it or not, on your personal cash. Because that's like the thing that I really don't like about anime, right? Like, a lot of people are saying, well, why don't you go for the subs? You know, you can just pirate an anime and go for the subs. And it's like, yeah, but I want the developer. You know, I want the person that makes the anime to receive some money. It's the same with Resident Evil. Like, I personally enjoyed the Resident Evil outfit from Jill from the original game. I also enjoyed the outfit from Resident Evil 2 Revelations. And I would like to pay the game developers money because I like the game. I want to support them. But I have to go to the modding team. And by the way, like it's a completely different argument about the Resident Evil 2 outfit. Sorry, the Resident Evil 3 original outfit for Jill. They modified that. Like you can have the outfit in the game, but it's modified to tone it down. So you know, like that's my point. And apparently, like Funimation is trusted by the rest of the committee to use their international expertise to better market the show to foreign viewers and provide more detailed input to the other Japanese companies regarding what fans abroad would like to see. So this is probably going to be about politics mostly, because at the end of the day, you know, no one cares like if you remove a joke about a couple of gay people or you, I don't know, just remove a couple of scenes. Again, like you can probably get the uncut version from the Japan. But there are entire animes like My Shield Hero or animes like Goblin Slayer, which are going to be considered unacceptable for the Western market, even though like they're very popular in the Western market. Like I remember, I think it was Goblin Slayer or My Shield Hero, I don't know which. Even though they were like so popular and they were getting so many hits, Crunchyroll decided not to put them on the main page and didn't even take them into account when they were issuing some prize for the best anime of the year or something like that. And it's like, it's tiresome, is what it is. It's like, they want to bypass the consumer. They want to bypass you and tell the Japanese man what you want to see, what you want to consume. And it's very anti-capitalistic. In fact, most of the people that are there aren't even into capitalism. They're either socialists or communists. But the main issue here is that it's also going to be like a protection racket. I mean, it is a protection racket. It's basically hire Funimation, because I don't think they're just invited there out of the kindness of their heart. No, like they need money. Like the company pays them money so they can be the consultants. It's like literally, it's going to be, oh, wouldn't it be a shame if your anime is being shamed in the West? Why don't you hire us so we can tell you how to make it more appropriate? And usually the people that are like, why don't you hire us, are the same people that do the shaming. So, you know, it's really disturbing what's happening. And I'm sad that most people don't talk about it. But look at this, right? Sounds like Funny is doing exactly what we don't want. We can also use examples like Hatena Illusion to show their plan. That show was completely changed to remove as much sexuality as possible, right? And I think like sexuality is the vehicle that they use in order to get on the seat. They're more interested into banning political anime. Again, they do not want an anime that would portray a woman as a villain. Like, it completely destroys their narrative. Another one is Attack on Titan. Like, they do not like the idea of getting people to think that the world isn't black and white. And that even though a race of people could have done bad stuff in the past, it's not okay to punish the people alive today for what their ancestors did. You know, like, all these things, it makes people think. It makes people think, like, well, what if, you know, like, the way I've been thinking up till now is not okay. And they hate that. And that's why they want to control anime, because it is like one of the last bastions of freedom of expression when it comes to entertainment. I mean, if you watch China, the Chinese movies, those are incredibly pro-China oriented, so they're propaganda machines. Western movies are already, you know, very political, and they put entertainment second, and they put politics first. So we had, like, what? We had anime, and we had Eastern game developers like CD Projekt Red making a couple of games that were putting entertainment first and politics second. You're not going to get that anymore. I think even CD Projekt Red is starting to get co-opted. Now, a lot of people are, how should I say, a little bit more optimistic that the time of the woke is over, as the economy is going to go down and a lot of these businesses are going to go bankrupt. And I do agree that this is something that might happen, but I want my companies, I like them. You know, I like Capcom, for better or for worse. They put out some good games in the last couple of years. You know, like, I like Street Fighter V. I think they had a rough start, but they managed to go back and to turn it around. Resident Evil 2 was really good. You know, like, these companies, they made my childhood. I'm not happy when I see BioWare being with one foot in the grave. I'm not happy when I see what's happening to Blizzard. You know, this doesn't make me satisfied to go like, oh, look, see, I told you so. It's not something that I cherish when I see Mortal Kombat going the Wokarati way. I'm not happy when I see these things. I would like my companies to still exist, to keep producing things that I like to play and give them money. And, you know, unfortunately, it doesn't seem that this is going to happen. It seems that they're going to just alienate the person that actually gives them money in favor for the people that Re-Setira. And it's going to happen with anime as well. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the comment section.